God is preparing you for something you can't see yet. Have you ever felt like you're doing everything right? Praying, waiting, trusting, but nothing is changing. It almost feels as if heaven has gone silent, as if God looked at your life, paused it, and walked away. You wake up every morning hoping today will finally be different. You tell yourself, maybe this is the day. But the phone never rings, the opportunity never comes. The prayer still seems unanswered, and slowly, without even realizing it, you begin asking a dangerous question. God, did you forget about me? If you've ever whispered those words, don't skip this message, because what you're experiencing right now may not be rejection, it may be preparation. What if I told you that some of God's greatest miracles begin on seasons that look like complete silence? Think about Joseph. Years before the palace, there was a pit. Before the crown, there was slavery. Before influence, there was betrayal. To everyone watching, Joseph looked forgotten. But heaven knew he was being prepared. The same God who was working in Joseph's hidden years is working in yours, even if you can't see it, even if you can't feel it, even if nothing around you makes sense. Here's something most people never understand. God often hides the process before he reveals the promise. Because if he showed you the destination too early, you might skip the transformation required to survive it. Sometimes the waiting isn't punishment, it's protection. Sometimes the closed door isn't failure, it's redirection. Sometimes the delay isn't God's absence, it's evidence that he's building something bigger than your current understanding. Right now, you may only see pieces, but God already sees the completed picture. Like a master artist who keeps adding brush strokes, even when the canvas looks messy. The masterpiece is never obvious halfway through, and neither is your life. Maybe that's why you're here today. Not by accident, not because an algorithm suggested this video, but because God knew there would come a moment when your faith would become tired, when your hope would become fragile, when you'd need someone to remind you that heaven is still working, even in silence. So, before you give up, listen carefully. The season you're trying to escape may be the very season preparing you for the answer you've been praying for. Because God never wastes pain. He never wastes tears. He never wastes waiting. Every disappointment, every delay, every lonely night, every unanswered prayer is becoming part of a testimony. You haven't lived yet, so don't judge your story by the chapter you're standing in. The author hasn't finished writing, and what comes next could change everything. The hardest part of following God is not believing he exists. It's believing he is still working. When you can't see a single sign, faith was never meant to depend on what your eyes can see. Faith begins where certainty ends. Many people think God is only present when life feels good, when prayers are answered quickly, when every door opens without resistance. But the Bible tells a different story. Again and again, God did his greatest work behind the scenes. Long before David ever stood before Goliath, God was shaping him in lonely fields. No crowd, no applause, no recognition, just quiet days, faithful obedience, and hidden preparation. David didn't know that every lion he faced was training him for a giant. In the same way, you may think your current struggle has no purpose, but what if this battle is teaching you the strength you'll need tomorrow? What if God is building patience because your future calling will require it? What if he's teaching you humility? Because success without humility destroys people? Sometimes God answers prayers by changing you first, because if your heart isn't ready, the blessing can become a burden. Think about a seed. The moment it's planted, it disappears, covered by darkness, completely hidden. If the seed could speak, it might think, "I've been buried." But heaven would say, "No, you're being planted." There's a huge difference. Burial looks like the end. Planting is the beginning of new life. Maybe you've been calling this season the end of your story, while God calls it the beginning. Every day you keep trusting Him, even when it's hard. Your roots are growing deeper, and the deeper the roots, the stronger the tree. Storms don't destroy trees with deep roots. That's why God often spends more time growing your roots than growing your results, because results impress people. But roots sustain you. Never confuse God's silence with God's absence. A teacher is often silent during the test, not because the teacher has left the room, but because it's time for the student to apply what they've learned. In the same way, God may seem quiet, yet He is closer than ever, watching, strengthening, guiding, even when you cannot hear His voice. Remember this, your timeline is not God's timeline. We live by calendars. God works through purpose. We count days. God prepares destinies. You may feel late, but God has never been late. He arrives at the perfect moment. The blessing that comes too early can become the very thing that breaks you. But the blessing that comes in God's timing brings peace, wisdom, and lasting impact. So don't compare your journey to someone else's highlight reel. God isn't writing the same story for everyone. Your assignment is unique, your preparation is unique, and your breakthrough will come in the perfect season. Today, choose trust over fear, hope over doubt, faith over feelings, because the God who started a good work in you has not stopped working, not for 1 second, even now. While you're listening to these words, He is preparing something that your eyes cannot yet see. And when the time is right, you'll look back at this difficult season, not with regret, but with gratitude, because you'll finally understand that God was preparing you for something far greater than you ever imagined. Before this message ends, I want you to hear one final truth the enemy wants you to believe, that because you're still waiting, God has stopped working. But nothing could be further from the truth. The greatest miracles in Scripture were never rushed. Noah waited, Abraham waited, Joseph waited, David waited, even Jesus waited. Before stepping into His public ministry, waiting has never been proof that God has forgotten you. Sometimes, waiting is proof that God is preparing something too important to be rushed. So, if you're tired, keep praying. If you're discouraged, keep believing. If you're questioning everything, keep holding on. Because one moment with God can change what years of struggle never could. Your current chapter is not your final chapter. The tears you cry today will not last forever. The doors that are closed today will not remain closed forever. The silence you're experiencing today will one day make perfect sense. There will come a morning when you'll wake up and realize God was working every single day, even when you couldn't see it, even when you doubted it, even when you almost gave up. And in that moment, you'll thank Him not only for the blessing, but for the waiting, because the waiting made you stronger. The waiting made you wiser. The waiting taught you to trust God instead of your own understanding. Never forget this promise. God is never late. He is never confused. He has never lost control of your life. Every step, every delay, every unexpected turn is still under His authority. So today, make a decision. Stop measuring God's faithfulness by your circumstances. Measure it by His character, because His character never changes. He was faithful yesterday, He is faithful today, and He will be faithful tomorrow. Whatever you're carrying right now, place it into God's hands. The fear, the anxiety, the unanswered questions, the broken dreams, the uncertainty about your future. Give it all to Him. You were never meant to carry those burdens alone. God is already standing in your tomorrow. While you're still living today, He already knows the way forward. He already knows the breakthrough. He already knows the miracle that is making its way toward your life. So don't quit 5 minutes before the miracle. Don't let temporary pain make you abandon an eternal purpose. Keep walking, keep trusting, keep believing, because God is preparing you for something you cannot see yet. And when His perfect timing arrives, no person can stop it. No obstacle can block it. No mistake can cancel it. What God has planned for you will come to pass according to His perfect will. If this message strengthened your faith, take a moment and write these simple words in the comments. I trust God's timing. Your declaration may encourage someone else who is struggling today. And if you want more biblical encouragement that strengthens your faith and brings you closer to God, subscribe to the channel and join us on this journey of hope, purpose, and God's truth. Until next time, remember this: God is preparing you for something you can't see yet. So don't lose hope. Your breakthrough may be closer than you think. God bless you.